Opioid abuse is an epidemic, one you may not think has spilled over into the workplace.
Tonight, 7 investigator Simon Shaykat shows us how the issue is getting worse and what steps companies can take to address it.
New stats show overdoses on the job are up 32% in just 1 year. Now we're asking what businesses must do to protect workers. Joe used to be addicted to prescription painkillers, opioids, and heroin. The disease drove him to constantly crave the high, even on the job.
I used to come to work under the influence of drugs every day. And obviously, in the world that I worked in, construction, it's obviously an unsafe mix.
With opioid abuse at an all-time high, it's now becoming an on-the-job issue. This poll found misusing prescription drugs impacts more than 70% of U.S. workplaces.
People have a vision or a misconception that a drug addict or a drug user uses out in the streets, whether it's in alleys or hidden corners.
This physiologist who helps people fight addiction says the person in the cubicle next to you could be abusing drugs.
We've seen impaired professionals, we've seen teachers, physicians, blue-collar workers, we've seen white-collar workers. It can inflict just about anyone because addiction is a disease.
This poll also reveals 65% of employers say on-the-job drug use is a justifiable reason to fire someone. But we found some companies aren't showing these workers the door. They're offering them a second chance.
What they're now doing is saying, okay, if we had an employee that worked for us for 10 years and they now test positive for drugs or alcohol, do we really want to terminate that employee, or do we want to give that employee an opportunity to get into some type of program that we can help them and still retain their job?
Some employers put employees with drug problems under special contracts. It's like a last chance agreement. Get professional help, sober up, and your job will be waiting for you.
These programs can be a win-win for employers and employees alike.
Joe says his employer and union paid for him to go to rehab. He's now kicked drugs, is back at work, and married with a family.
I do think this program saved my life.
For now, the problem continues getting worse. Employers, healthcare, and the criminal justice system all shelling out hundreds of billions of dollars each year. Simon Shaykat, 7 Action News.